Okay. So good afternoon, everyone. How are you all doing? Okay, fantastic. So my dear students, what are we studying today? See, in our last class, we had spoken a lot about demand, the types of demand. Then we had discussed, concepts around why is the demand curve downward sloping, law of demand, exceptions to the law of demand, individual demand, market demand, factors affecting demand curve. We had studied all this. Today, one last topic from the topic demand. Then we move to elasticity of demand. Is movement versus shift? So let's understand what is movement and what is shift of demand. I hope all of us are ready. See, first of all, let's talk about synonyms. So everyone, movement is also called change in quantity demanded. Movement is also called change in quantity demanded, while shift is also called change in demand. Movement is also called change in quantity demanded, while shift is also called change in demand. Movement is also called change in quantity demanded, while shift is also called change in demand. Acha, so sir, these two are different terms. Yes, quantity demanded refers to movement and change in demand refers to shift. But what is exactly movement of demand and shift of demand, sir? See, in factors affecting demand, we had studied a lot about different factors like own price of the commodity, price of related commodities, income of the consumers, population, and so many other things that affect the quantity demanded for a commodity, right? Yes, sir. So when we speak about the impact on quantity demanded due to own price of the commodity, that is called, that is not own price, then we call it to be shift in demand. So friends, these are two different concepts. Movement को इस बात से लेना देना है कि जो डिमांड है वो बढ़े या घटे खुद के दाम की वजह से, कमोडिटी के खुद के दाम में बदलाव आया जिसकी वजह से क्वांटिटी डिमांडेड में बदलाव आया। यदि ऐसा होता है तो हम कहते हैं मूवमेंट हुआ। परंतु अगर क्वांटिटी डिमांडेड बढ़ता है या घटता है ऑन प्राइस की वजह से नहीं, किसी और कारणवश, तब हम लोग बोलते हैं शिफ्ट ऑफ डिमांड। आई होप इट्स क्रिस्टल क्लियर एवरीवन, राइट? नाउ friends, whenever there is movement of demand, along the same demand curve, you will either move upwards or downwards along the same demand curve if there is movement. But if there is shift, this is the demand curve, it will either move to right or it will either move to left. So if there is a demand curve, there will either be a rightward shift or there will be a leftward shift. If this is the demand curve, let me tell you. Okay, sir, got it. So friends, movement is of two types. Number one is expansion and number two is contraction of demand. Shift is of two types, increase and decrease in demand. So sir, what is expansion? Okay, suppose there is a fall in price. If price falls, quantity demanded will? Yes. If price falls, quantity demanded will rise. You are correct. If price falls, quantity demanded will rise. If price falls, quantity demanded will rise. So see, there is a downward movement along the same curve. That is expansion of demand. That is fall in price leading to rise in quantity. But suppose something else has happened. Income of the consumer has increased. Okay? Or something has happened with the price of related goods due to which our commodity demand has increased. Then there is a rightward shift. याद रखिए, एक्सपेंशन का मतलब जब कमोडिटी का प्राइस कम हो गया और क्वांटिटी डिमांडेड बढ़ गया तब उसे एक्सपेंशन कहते हैं। पर मान लीजिए इनकम के बढ़ने की वजह से या किसी भी कारणवश ओन प्राइस को छोड़कर किसी भी कारण की वजह से अगर डिमांड में आप इंक्रीज देखते हो या बढ़ना देखते हो, बढ़ोतरी देखते हो, उसे हम लोग राइटवर्ड शिफ्ट से इंडिकेट करते हैं, उसे इंक्रीज इन डिमांड कहते हैं। अपोजिट माय डियर फ्रेंड्स इज कॉन्ट्रैक्शन ऑफ डिमांड। सो सपोज इफ देयर इज अ राइज इन प्राइस due to which quantity demanded falls. Okay? Because of own price rise, quantity demanded falls. So there is upward movement along the same curve. That is called contraction of demand. So remember, in contraction, there is upward movement along the curve. Remember, in contraction, there is upward movement along the curve. Remember, in contraction, there is upward movement along the curve. And in expansion, there is downward movement along the curve. But decrease, suppose income has reduced or something else has happened apart from own price due to which demand has fallen, then we showcase it via a leftward shift. सर हिंदी में बोलिए, अगर प्राइस बढ़ने की वजह से क्वांटिटी घटता है, खुद के प्राइस बढ़ने की वजह से, उसे कॉन्ट्रैक्शन कहते हैं और कॉन्ट्रैक्शन में हम लोग सेम डिमांड कर्व में ऊपर की तरफ जाते हैं, जबकि अगर कोई भी और कारण की वजह से खुद के प्राइस को छोड़कर डिमांड घटे किसी भी कारण से, तो उसे हम लोग लेफ्टवर्ड शिफ्ट से दिखाते हैं और उसे हम लोग डिक्रीज इन डिमांड कहते हैं। उम्मीद है क्लियर है सबको। I hope everyone is crystal clear with the concept so far. This is what movement versus shift is. This is what movement versus shift is. Okay. Great. Clear. So first, before I start elasticity of demand, let me summarize movement versus shift for you. ठीक है? I will go slow ones and fast the other moment. So listen carefully. In movement, demand rises or falls because of own price. In movement, demand will either rise or fall because of own price. In shift, demand will again rise or fall, but it's not because of own price. It might be because of any other factor. Please remember, own price is not being impacted here. Number two, in movement, there are two types, expansion and contraction. In shift, there are two types, increase and decrease. In expansion, along the same demand curve, we move downwards. In contraction, along the same demand curve, we move upwards. But in case of increase, the demand curve will shift to right. And in case of decrease, the demand curve will shift to left. This is what is going to take place. I hope it's clear now. Right. Right, sir. So basically what is happening in movement and shift is movement takes place because of own price. Movement is of two types. What are the two types, everyone? Expansion and number two is contraction. In expansion, fall in price leads to rise in quantity demanded. In contraction, rise in price leads to fall in quantity demanded. When we talk about expansion, everyone, when we talk about expansion, if this is the demand curve, along the same demand curve, we move upwards. But in contraction, along the same demand curve, we move downwards. Okay? But if we talk about shift, shift takes place because of other factors, own price remaining constant. Okay? Shift is of again two types. Increase, decrease. In case of increase in demand, if this is the demand curve, you will move right. And in case of decrease, if this is, if you confirm that this much is clear so far. All right, great. Now everyone, I am telling you one statement. What is the statement? That law of demand is qualitative in nature. Law of demand is qualitative in nature. Law of demand is qualitative in nature. Sir, what does this mean? Qualitative in nature? It means when price rises, quantity falls, and when price falls, quantity rises. What does that mean? Qualitative means? Qualitative means, everyone, qualitative means, please remember, qualitative means that when price falls, quantity rises. And when price rises, quantity falls. So we know about the direction. We know about the direction. मतलब प्राइस बढ़ेगा तो क्वांटिटी घटेगा, प्राइस घटेगा तो क्वांटिटी बढ़ेगा, हमें ये मालूम है. We know that when price rises, quantity falls. But if price falls, quantity rises. But do we know by how much? क्या हमें पता है कितने से प्राइस बढ़ने से क्वांटिटी कितने जोर से गिरेगा, या प्राइस घटने से क्वांटिटी कितने जोर से बढ़ेगा? क्या हमें ये बात का पता है लॉ ऑफ डिमांड से? यस और नो एवरीवन? यस, वेरी गुड, वेरी गुड अंकित, करेक्ट, 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 करेक्ट. So yes, you are correct that law of demand is qualitative in nature, because it tells us that rise in price will result in fall in demand, or fall in price will result in rise in demand, but it does not tell us by how much. That is why we call it to be qualitative in nature. प्राइस घटने से क्वांटिटी बढ़ेगा, प्राइस बढ़ने से क्वांटिटी घटेगा, बट कितने से ये लॉ ऑफ डिमांड हमें नहीं बताता है, नहीं बताता है। करेक्ट? यस सर। सो नाउ वी कम टू इलास्टिसिटी ऑफ डिमांड. Elasticity of demand is a quantitative phenomenon. What is elasticity of demand, sir? It's a quantitative phenomenon. I will write it down for you. Elasticity of demand is a quantitative phenomenon. It also tells by how much. It also tells us by how much. So, there are different concepts of elasticity of demand. Okay? It tells us by how much. Elasticity of demand tells us by how much something is changing. Correct? Right, sir. Now everyone pay attention. These are the four major concepts that we will be studying in our syllabus. ठीक है? That is today. Price elasticity of demand, income elasticity of demand, cross elasticity of demand, advertising elasticity of demand. Today, by the way, it is our last class on demand and elasticity. Okay? So be ready to listen carefully, everyone. Okay? Number one is price elasticity of demand. So suppose, what does it measure, sir? It measures that due to change in price, by how much will quantity change? The degree of responsiveness of quantity demanded. It means by how much will quantity change for a percentage change in price. So if price changes by a certain percentage, by what percentage will demand change? This is what we are studying here. If price changes by a certain percentage, then by what percentage will demand change? Everybody, we are sitting and studying that here. If price changes by a certain percentage, then by what percentage will demand change is what we are studying here in this topic. Okay? Right. So, sir, please tell us and please explain us. All right, then let me explain it to you. See, price elasticity of demand is the degree of responsiveness. Degree means to what extent quantity demanded will respond to change in own price of the commodity. It is the degree of responsiveness of quantity demanded to the change in own price of the commodity. So, quantity demanded will respond by what percentage to change in own price of the commodity. That is called price elasticity of demand. It is represented by EP. Meaning, प्राइस बदलने की वजह से डिमांड कितना जोर से बदलेगा वो प्राइस इलास्टिसिटी मेजर करता है. ठीक है? Degree of responsiveness of quantity demanded to change in own price. Everybody in the chat write down if you have learnt it and understood it. Degree of responsiveness of quantity demanded to the change in own price of the commodity. Degree of responsiveness of quantity demanded to the change in own price of the commodity. Everyone write it down in the chat. Very good. So now pay attention. If you have understood this much, see, to measure elasticity of demand, or rather to measure price elasticity of demand, we have three main methods. Rather four to five methods we have. Number one is percentage method, one of the very famous and important method. Then we have total expenditure method. Then we have point elasticity method, geometric method, arc elasticity method. Sir, so all the methods calculate price elasticity only? Yes. All the methods calculate price elasticity only. Very good, Om. Varun, very good. So yes. Percentage method is one of those methods. Sir, so how do we calculate demand under percentage method? Now everyone note down this formula. EP. EP means price elasticity of demand. EP means price elasticity of demand. EP, everyone means price elasticity of demand. And so, what is the formula of EP? Percentage change in quantity demanded by percentage change in price. What is the formula of EP? Percentage change in quantity demanded by percentage change in price. What is the formula of EP? Percentage change in quantity demanded by percentage change in price. Everyone, the formula of EP is percentage change in quantity demanded by percentage change in price. Okay? Right. I hope everybody has written it down. Then your question will be, Sir, how do we calculate percentage change in quantity demanded? So as you can see, percentage change in quantity demanded is computed like this. Q2 minus Q1 by Q1 into 100. That is new quantity minus old quantity by old quantity into 100. So this is how percentage change in quantity demanded is computed. New quantity minus old quantity by old quantity into 100. And sir, how is percentage change in price computed? Again, the same logic. New price minus old price by old price into 100. New price minus old price by old price into 100. Okay? New price minus old price by old price into 100. So how do you calculate percentage change in price? New price minus old price by old price into 100, everyone. I hope it's crystal clear, everyone. Great. So it's new price minus old price by old price into 100, and percentage change in quantity demanded is new quantity minus old quantity by old quantity into 100. I hope it's clear, everyone. This is how elasticity, or rather price elasticity, is computed. Okay, sir. Now, let me give you an example. Initially, price was rupees 10. How much was price? Rupees 10. When price was 10 rupees, quantity demanded was, let's say, 100 units. Quantity demanded was 100 units. When price was rupees 10. Everyone, when price was rupees 10, everybody, when price was rupees 10, quantity was 100. Okay? When price was rupees 10, quantity was 100. But when price rose to rupees 15, when price grew up to become rupees 15, quantity demanded fell down to become 40. So when price had increased, quantity had decreased. When price had increased from 10 to 15, quantity had decreased from 100 to 40. Okay? When price had increased from 10 to 15, quantity had decreased from 100 to 40. Now, what is the percentage change in quantity? I taught you now, new quantity minus old quantity by old quantity into 100. So you will see the new quantity is 40, old quantity was 100, divided by 100, that is the old quantity, into 100. This 100 is for percentage conversion. So 100 gone, it became minus 60%. What does minus 60% means? It means it means quantity has fallen by 60%. Minus means fallen. Okay? And percentage change in price, again, new price minus old price by old price into 100. What is new price? 15 rupees. What is old price? 10 rupees. So new price minus old price by what is old price? 10 rupees into 100. New minus old by old into 100. New minus old by old into 100. So it is 50%. It is 15 new price 15 minus old price 10 by old price 10 into 100. So it becomes how much? Tell me. It becomes 50%. So when you calculate elasticity of demand, it becomes percentage change in quantity demanded, which is minus 60% by percentage change in price, which is plus 50%. So percent gone, 0 gone. It became minus 1.2. It became minus 1.2. So elasticity became minus 1.2. And remember one thing, for presentation in economics, we always put elasticity in modulus. That is, we only showcase the positive values. Why? Just for presentation. No logic behind that. So 1.2. But sir, your question should be, what does 1.2 mean? Anybody can answer me this. What does elasticity of 1.2 mean? What is the implication? Anyone? Let me hear it out. Anyone can tell me the logical meaning of 1.2? Can anyone tell me? Very good. See, 1.2 means, see, 1.2 means, everyone remember, 1.2 means, 1.2 means that, acha, remember we are studying price elasticity of demand. Elasticity of demand is a broad heading. Under it, there are various elasticities: price elasticity, income elasticity, advertisement elasticity. We are studying price elasticity. It means we are studying change in demand due to own price of the commodity. Now understood? Now pay attention. 1.2 means that whenever price will change by, every time price will change by 1%, percentage change in demand will be equal to 1% into the value of elasticity, that is 1.2%. Acha. So sir, it means that suppose if price changes by 5%, then quantity will change by 5 into 1.2, quantity will change by 6%. Is that so, sir? Yes, that is so. Friends, is that crystal clear, friends? Yes or no? See, here I have written interpretation of 1.2. It means that if price changes by 1%, quantity will change by 1% into minus 1.2, yani minus 1.2%. Minus means the opposite direction. Means if price rises, quantity falls, and if price falls, quantity rises. Minus is to indicate the opposite direction. All right. Great. Now, friends, I will teach you another formula for percentage method. Are you ready? Yes, sir, we are ready. What formula did I teach you so far? See, I taught you, what I taught you was elasticity equals to percentage change in quantity by percentage change in price. Yes or no, everybody? Yes or no, everyone? But from it, we can make another formula. See, how do you calculate percentage change in quantity? Q2 minus Q1 by Q1 into 100. Yes or no? Tell me. Right, sir. Similarly, P2 minus P1 by original price into 100. Yes or no, everyone? Yes. So 100 gone, friends. Q2 minus Q1 is change in quantity. By Q1 is original quantity. P2 minus P1 is change in price. By P1 is original price. So everyone, it becomes change in quantity by original quantity into original price by change in price, which gives us change in quantity by change in price into P1 by Q1 into P1 by Q1. This is the formula of percentage method. Another formula which has been derived from main formula only. Please write down this derivation. First write down, then I'll elaborate any further. Come on, everyone. First write down, then I'll. Have you noted it down, everyone? Now let's discuss this question again. Okay, the same question that we did. What was the price? 10. See, price was 10. Price increased to 15. Quantity was 100, fell to 40. Quantity fell to 40. So see, change in price is by how much? 5 rupees. Change in quantity is by how much? 60 units. So when we compute elasticity, I mean price elasticity, it is change in quantity by change in price. Change in quantity is how much? Tell me. Minus 60 by change in price is how much? 5 into what is original price, everyone? Original price is 10 rupees. What is original quantity, everyone? Original quantity is 100. You see the same formula I have applied. See, change in quantity is 40 minus 100 minus 60. Change in price is 15 minus 10, 5. P1 is original price. Q1 is original quantity. Now, if you cut it, you will get the same answer. You see, minus 1.2. So both formulas can be used under percentage method. So everyone, elasticity of demand, under elasticity of demand, there is price elasticity of demand. So this is the main concept of price elasticity of demand using percentage method. Under elasticity, there is price elasticity. Okay. So we are clear with that. Now, Now everyone, I am giving you a question. Are you all ready? Okay, here is my question. Solve it and tell me. A consumer buys 80 units. I am reading out the question. A consumer buys 80 units of a good at price of rupees 4 per unit. A consumer buys 80 units of a good at price of rupees 4 per unit. A consumer buys 80 units of a good at price of 4 per unit. Elasticity is -4. Remember, price elasticity is negative. Why always negative? Because there is inverse relation between price and quantity demanded. Why it is negative? Because there is inverse relation between price and quantity demanded. Now your question is, at what price will he buy 60 units? At what price will he buy 60 units? So this time you will have to find out the new price. This time you have elasticity value given. You have to compute the new price. Come on, everybody, try it out. I'm waiting. This is old price, rupees 4. What is the new price where he will buy 60 units? I have given you all the time to solve. See, original price is rupees 4. Original quantity is 80 units. Elasticity is -4. At what price will he buy 60 units? So Q2 equals to 60 units. At what price? P2 equals to question mark. Okay. Now everyone, you all know elasticity equals to change in quantity by change in price into original price by original quantity. Correct? See, I have made you write this here. See, I have made you write it here. Right, sir. So now what I am saying is, change in quantity by change in price into P1 by Q1. So now when I solve it, how does it become? EP is how much? EP I told you all. EP as I had told you all was how much? EP as I had told you was -4. What is change in quantity? See, from 80 units, you have to fall to 60 units. So quantity fallen by -20. Change in price, we have no clue. Original price we know is rupees 4. Original quantity we know is 80 units. How many of you have done this step correct? Just copying the data. Very good, quite a few. Now, see, minus gone. 20 into 4 is 80. So 420, 20, 21. Right, everyone? So 4 equals to 1 by delta P. That implies delta P equal to 1 by 4 or 0.25. Delta P equals to 1 by 4. That means 0.25. Delta P is how much? 1 by 4. Sir, elaborate it. Okay, I will elaborate it further. You see, original price was how much? See, original price was 4 rupees. Correct, sir? Original quantity was 80 units. New price, we don't know. Or new quantity, we know 60. Elasticity, we have been told -4. Now, all of us know elasticity equals to change in quantity by change in price into original price by original quantity. Now, everyone, elasticity is -4. Change in quantity, we know from 80 to 60, that is -20. Change in price, 4 to what, we don't know. So let it be this only. P1, original price is 4 rupees. Original quantity is 80 units. 80 rupees, 80 units. So 4 ones are 4. So we, acha, and minus gone. So 4 into delta P equal to 1. This delta P has come this way. So that means delta P equals to 1 by 4. that is 0.25. What does delta P means? Delta P means change in price. It is plus 0.25. Means price has increased by 25. 0.25 I mean. So what was the original price? 4 rupees. What was the original price? 4 rupees. So what is the new price, everyone? 4 plus 0.25. What was the original price? 4 rupees. Now it has increased by 0.25. So what is the new price, everyone? 4.25 is the, everybody, new price. I hope it's crystal clear now. Very good. Very good. 4.25. Correct. Very good. I hope it's clear with everyone. All right, great then. Great. So friends, having understood that formula of price elasticity of demand, we are now studying types of price elasticity of demand. अब अपने क्या पढ़ रहे हैं? अब अपने पढ़ रहे हैं types of price elasticity of demand. अब अपने क्या पढ़ रहे हैं? अब अपने पढ़ रहे हैं types of price elasticity of demand. What are we studying? Types of price elasticity of demand under the percentage method. Under which method? Under the percentage method. Right. So everyone, we are studying price elasticity of demand under the percentage method. I hope everyone is ready. Correct. See, so when we talk about types of price elasticity of demand under percentage method, number one is perfectly elastic demand. We are studying types of price elasticity of demand under percentage method. Remember, I told you price elasticity of demand can be computed under multiple methods. So we are using percentage method as of now. We are using percentage method as of now. Okay. So let's go about with the percentage method. All right. Let's go about with percentage method. Okay, Varun, your answer is correct. Asha, your answer is correct. Aniket, very good. Okay, Nikita, very good. Sahi. So now everyone, having said this, now we talk about perfectly elastic demand. Now we talk about perfectly elastic demand. Perfectly elastic demand. Friends, what does it mean? It means it is a situation where prices change very little, where there is almost negligible change in price, but quantity has changed. But quantity has changed. But quantity has changed, despite negligible change in price. So, sir, is it possible in reality? There are hardly any example where we can talk about this, where a little change in price causes a large change in quantity. It might be emergency, like during the COVID times, etc. But otherwise, we don't see it normally happening. Whatever it is, what is perfectly elastic demand? It is a situation where a negligible change in price leads to change in quantity demanded. Now, for example, suppose when price is 10, demand is 100. Now, despite there being no change in price, demand has fallen to 80, demand has fallen to 70. So what is the percentage change in price? Negligible, almost zero, because price has not changed. Price बदला ही नहीं है. तो प्राइस में बदलाव हम लोग क्या लेकर चल रहे हैं? 0%. क्वांटिटी मान लीजिए 20% से या 30% से बदलता है. अब आप लोगों को इलास्टिसिटी का फॉर्मूला याद है? परसेंटेज चेंज इन क्वांटिटी डिमांडेड याद है क्या? बाय परसेंटेज चेंज इन प्राइस. अब मैंने आपको क्या बोला? व्हाट डिड आई से? इन परफेक्टली इलास्टिक डिमांड there is no change in price. So, zero change in price. Quantity can be 10%, 20%, 30%. And you all know it will become infinity or undefined. Yes or no? So, in perfectly elastic demand, this is why we say elasticity is infinity. Remember, we are talking modulus, meaning we will only take positive values. Meaning, we will only take positive values. Meaning, we will only take positive values. So value of elasticity, modulus elasticity is infinity. I hope everybody is crystal clear now. Come on, friends. Hopefully it's crystal clear now. Very good. So in perfectly elastic demand, the elasticity value is infinity. What is the value of elasticity? Infinity. Great. Sir, how does the diagram look? I will help you. I will draw the diagram again for you. Okay. So everybody remember in economics, graphs are very important. I have highlighted the importance of graphs a number of times. I will reiterate that. Suppose this is y-axis, this is x-axis. Okay. Everybody here, I am writing price. Here I am writing quantity. Suppose for example, price is P1, quantity is Q1. Now, price remains Q1, quantity changes to Q2. Price remains P1, quantity changes to Q3. So you see, they are intersecting this way, right or wrong? Right, sir. So if you join them, you get perfectly elastic demand. So this is called a horizontal curve parallel to x-axis. What is it called? A horizontal curve parallel to x-axis. It is called a horizontal curve parallel to x-axis. Yes, it is called a horizontal curve parallel to x-axis. It's called a horizontal curve parallel to x-axis. I hope it's crystal clear, everyone. Acha. One of our friends is asking what is the meaning of modulus. Friends, modulus is basically whatever negative you put, it will become positive. This is what modulus is. Right, sir. You know, you can think like this. Modulus is like coronavirus. What does coronavirus do? It makes a negative person positive. This is what modulus does. It makes a negative number positive. But if something is already positive, does coronavirus make it negative? No. Same with modulus. If a number is already positive, modulus will not turn it to negative. So positive number will only remain positive. I hope now it's clear. Okay, great. So remember that in perfectly elastic demand, the demand curve is horizontal curve parallel to x-axis. Parallel to x-axis. I hope it's clear now. Moving on. Now the opposite. Perfectly inelastic demand. Perfectly inelastic demand. Now suppose for any change in price. Suppose for any change in price. That is, price is changing, but quantity demand is not changing. For any change in price, if quantity demand is not changing, for any change in price, if quantity demand is not changing, then we talk about perfectly inelastic demand. Then we talk about perfectly inelastic demand. Then we talk about perfectly inelastic demand. Okay, everyone? This is what perfectly inelastic demand is. That whatever is the change in price, quantity demanded will never change. For any change in price, quantity demanded will not change. So suppose price is 10, it becomes 20, it becomes 50. Still your quantity is same. It is very difficult to give an example of perfect situation, but a close is medicine. So suppose a doctor has prescribed you certain medicine. So even if the price is 10 or 20 or 50, you will not reduce the dosage just because price has increased. So that's why this is a scenario of perfectly inelastic demand, that despite change in price, quantity is not changing. And you all know what is elasticity. How is elasticity computed? You all remember? Yes, sir. Percentage change in quantity by percentage change in price. Percentage change in quantity by percentage change in price. Right, everyone? What is elasticity? Percentage change in quantity by percentage change in price. Now pay attention, everyone. Suppose demand is not changing, demand is the same. There is no change in demand. But suppose price has changed by a certain percentage. There is no change in demand. But suppose price has changed by 50%, increased by 50%. Zero by anything is zero. So yes, here the value of elasticity is zero. In case of perfectly elastic, it was infinity. In case of perfectly inelastic, it is zero. Right? And how is the demand curve here? I will show it to you again. Don't worry. Suppose price is P1. Your quantity is Q1 only. Suppose price increases to P2. Your quantity is still Q1. If your price increases to P3, your quantity is still Q1. So it is like a vertical curve parallel to y-axis. So if somebody asks what is perfectly elastic demand shaped like, you would say it's a vertical curve parallel to y-axis. It's a vertical curve parallel to y-axis. It's a vertical curve parallel to y-axis. Okay, great. So everyone, relatively elastic demand is done now. Relatively elastic demand we are going to do now. What is done is perfectly inelastic demand. Now, what is relatively elastic demand? Remember, relatively elastic demand is also called highly elastic demand. Okay? Relatively elastic demand is also called highly elastic demand. Here, value of elasticity is greater than 1. It happens in case of luxuries. So suppose price of a commodity was 10 rupees. Okay? So quantity demanded was 100. Okay? Suppose price increased by 10%. How much? 10%. So suppose change in price is with 10%. Suppose. So demand has fallen to 30. I mean 70. So the change in quantity is by how much percentage? 30 percentage. Change in quantity is by how much? 30 percentage. Now, if you calculate elasticity, everyone, now everybody, if you all calculate elasticity, the formula of elasticity is, see, change in quantity is by 30%. So it will be change in quantity by change in price, that is 10%. Change in quantity by change in price, that is 30% by 10%. So if you subtract this or you remove this, you get elasticity value to be 3. You get elasticity value to be 3. So, remember, actually it came -3. Actually it came -3. We always take modulus, so 3. And isn't it greater than 1? Yes. Relatively elastic demand means that quantity changes by a greater percentage. To translate it into Hindi, relative elastic demand का मतलब होता है कि देखो क्वांटिटी भी बदल रहा है, प्राइस भी बदल रहा है, या आई शुड से प्राइस बदलने की वजह से क्वांटिटी बदल रहा है, ये बात सच है. बट प्राइस अगर एक सर्टेन परसेंटेज से बदल रहा है, क्वांटिटी उससे ज्यादा परसेंटेज से बदल रहा है. प्राइस अगर एक सर्टेन परसेंटेज से बदल रहा है, क्वांटिटी उससे ज्यादा परसेंटेज से बदल रहा है. जब ऐसा होता है, वी कॉल अबाउट रिलेटिव इलास्टिक डिमांड. And it is obviously greater than 1. You all know the values now. Okay? Yes. It is a flat curve. It is a flat curve. You want to see the diagram? I'll show it to you. See. You can draw the diagram yourself. See. This is what I'm trying to say. That in case of relative elastic demand, the curve is relatively flatter. In case of relatively elastic demand, the curve is relatively flatter. Is what I'm saying. I hope it's crystal clear, everyone. Always consider the positive values. I have told you. Here the example is luxury or items which can be postponed for future, whose consumption can be postponed for the future. Always remember, answer will be positive. We always talk about positive, but answer is positive here. Always. Right? Answer is always positive in such scenarios. Great. Now we talk about relatively inelastic demand. Now we talk about relatively inelastic demand. Sir, what is relatively inelastic demand? Just the opposite of relatively elastic demand. You remember, in relatively elastic demand, Who was changing with greater percentage? Sir, we remember quantity. Yes. In relatively inelastic demand, again there is change in both price and quantity. But there is change in both price and quantity. But here परसेंटेज चेंज इन प्राइस इज ग्रेटर. ज्यादा जोश में कौन है यहां पर? प्राइस ज्यादा जोश में. ज्यादा परसेंटेज किस में बदलेगा? प्राइस में बदलेगा. ज्यादा जोर से कौन बदलेगा? प्राइस बदलेगा. हौले हौले धीरे धीरे कौन बदलेगा? क्वांटिटी. सो हियर द मॉड्यूलस वैल्यू इज लेस देन 1. सो दैट इज रिलेटिवली इनइलास्टिक डिमांड. हियर द मॉड्यूलस इज लेस देन 1. Modulus of elasticity is less than 1. For example, here you see price was 10 rupees. Okay. Price increased to 15 rupees. So what was quantity? 50 units. Now quantity fell to 40 units. Right? So suppose rise in price was 50%. Rise in price was by how much percent? 50%. Quantity fell by how much percent? 20%. So you see, percentage change in quantity is 20%. Percentage change in price is 50%. So if both are gone, 2 by 5 is what? 0.4. Obviously it is minus 0.4. But we take the positive values. I have repeated. In elasticity, take positive values. Everybody write down in the chat. Everybody write down in the chat that elasticity, we always take positive values. Yes, answer will come negative, but you will have to apply modulus and take it to be positive. Write down in the chat, then I will proceed. Price, quantity. Price, quantity. Now everyone pay attention. Price is less, quantity is high. So both are intersecting here. So both are intersecting here. Right, everyone? Right, sir. Now suppose price has changed by a larger percentage. Quantity will obviously fall. Because price has risen, quantity will obviously fall. So suppose quantity has fallen, but little, not by large amount. And so these are intersecting here. And you can see the curve that has been made is relatively steeper curve. So the curve is relatively steeper, or rather a narrow one. It's not a flat one. It's rather a narrow curve. तो रिलेटिवली इनइलास्टिक डिमांड में क्या होता है? इसमें भी क्वांटिटी और प्राइस दोनों बदल रहे होते हैं. इसमें भी क्वांटिटी और प्राइस दोनों बदल रहे होते हैं, पर ज्यादा जोश में प्राइस होता है. सो ज्यादा जोर से कौन बदल रहा होता है? प्राइस ज्यादा जोर से बदल रहा होता है रिलेटिवली इनइलास्टिक डिमांड में. इसलिए यहां पर इलास्टिसिटी की वैल्यू जो आती है वो 1 से कम आती है. इसलिए यहां पर जो इलास्टिसिटी की वैल्यू आती है वो 1 से कम आती है. Next is unitary elastic demand. Sir, what is unitary elastic demand? Here the Josh is equal. That is, percentage change in quantity demanded is exactly equal to percentage change in price. Percentage change in quantity demanded is exactly equal to percentage change in price. So what happens is, price is increased by 50%, quantity has fallen by 50%. So here the value of elasticity is exactly 1. And you know the shape here, unitary elastic demand, the shape is called rectangular hyperbola. Everybody write down in the chat, rectangular hyperbola. The shape of unitary elastic demand is called rectangular hyperbola. Rectangular hyperbola, rectangular hyperbola. Everyone write it down. Then I shall discuss with you next method of elasticity. But before that, some MCQs, let's practice. Okay, let's go. Answer me these questions then. My question to you is, if percentage change in price is equals to 20%, percent change in quantity equals to 50%, percentage change in QD is 50%, what is elasticity of demand? Equal to option A 2.5, B minus 2.5, C 0.4, D minus 0.4. Answer me, come on everyone. See, modulus is always taken positive values, percentage change in quantity by percentage change in price. So it's 2.5. Option A is the correct answer. The shape of relatively elastic demand curve is A steep, B flat, C rectangular hyperbola, D none of the above. Relatively elastic demand. Remember, the question is relatively elastic demand. See, into first of all, see elastic demand. So what will change greater? Percentage change in quantity, right? So if price is P1, quantity is this, and if price rises a little, quantity falls a lot, then you will see the curve is relatively flatter, na? So remember, in relatively elastic, it is flatter. It is flatter in relatively elastic. In relatively elastic, it is flatter. Okay? Okay. Next question. Shape of unitary elastic demand is A horizontal, B vertical, C rectangular hyperbola, D straight line. Shape of unitary elastic demand, everyone. Yes. So shape of unitary elastic demand is, everybody, you all are correct. Rectangular hyperbola. You are correct. The shape of unitary elastic demand is rectangular hyperbola. Very good, everyone. So Tushar, you had given the correct answer. Vidisha, good answer. Apurva, good answer. Kavya, good answer. Aniket, very good. Question is, if demand curve is parallel to x-axis, elasticity is A perfectly elastic demand, B relatively elastic demand, C perfectly inelastic demand, D relatively inelastic demand. PED is perfectly elastic, RED is relatively elastic, PID is perfectly inelastic, RID is relatively inelastic. What say? If the demand curve is parallel to x-axis, mind you, Yes. So see, the answer would be if it is parallel to, x-axis, if it is parallel to x-axis, if it is parallel to x-axis, remember everyone, since it is parallel to x-axis, see what is happening. Price is constant, quantity is changing. Price is constant. It is what? Perfectly elastic demand. Because quantity is changing. So A is the answer here. Perfectly elastic demand. Very good, very good, very good. Okay. One of our friends is asking, sir, in this above question number 1, if there was no modular sign, what would the answer be? Then you would put minus 2.5 because no modulus is given. Got it? Now, everyone, I think we should come back to the topic. Some questions we have solved already. Everyone, are we ready with point elasticity method? Can we start? Okay. Yes, Vishal, correct answer. Now moving on. We talk about geometric method. We talk about geometric method. Okay? Geometric method. Acha, before geometric method, let's complete point elasticity method. See, it is only theoretical. Point elasticity method is that elasticity equals to derivative of PQ ratio. PQ ratio means price divided by quantity and you differentiate it. I am sure all of you have done differentiation in your maths curriculum. Yes or no in foundation? Yes or no, please? Bus. So you differentiate price quantity ratio. This is called point elasticity. Only the formula is important. Don't apply much brain here. Only the formula is important. But remember that. Right. Very good. तो पॉइंट इलास्टिसिटी मेथड क्या होता है? यहां प्राइस क्वांटिटी रेशियो का आपको डिफरेंशिएशन करना होता है. बात खत्म. ठीक है, चलिए आगे बढ़. लेट्स मूव ऑन हियर. नाउ एवरीबॉडी, we are speaking or we are talking about geometric method or the linear method. Now everybody, we are talking about the geometric method or the linear method. Now we talk about the geometric method or the linear method. I hope all of us are ready. We talk about geometric or linear method. Yes, sir, please go ahead. So everybody now pay attention. What does it say? Geometric method, what does it say? I will explain it to you. Pay attention, everyone. Very easy. This is price. This is quantity, right, everyone? Yes, sir, you are correct. Pay attention, everyone. Let me draw a demand curve. This is what, everybody? Yes, you got it correct. A demand curve. This is price axis. This is quantity axis. Now, there are 5 points on it. Everybody, there are 5 points on it. A, B, C, D, E. There are 5 points. Can you see it, everyone? This is price axis. This is quantity axis. Now, what does geometric method tell? Geometric method tell us, this red color line is demand curve. Okay, downward sloping demand curve, as you all already know. Now, what does geometric method tell us? Geometric method tells us that elasticity at any point. Geometric method tells us elasticity at any point. What does geometric method tell us? That elasticity at any point is the length of lower line segment by upper line segment. Meaning, suppose you have to compute elasticity at point A. तो रेड लाइन का ए से नीचे कितना हिस्सा है? ए ई पूरा, और ए के ऊपर रेड लाइन है क्या? नहीं. तो बस इलास्टिसिटी ए पे क्या होगा? ए ई बाई 0, यानी कि इंफिनिटी. बस. सिमिलरली अब आपको बी पर इलास्टिसिटी कंप्यूट करना है. यू हैव टू कंप्यूट इलास्टिसिटी एट बी. So again, lower segment is B to E, BE, upper segment is AB. Now you all know, you all tell me, BE is greater or AB is greater? Lengthwise, which is greater? So obviously BE, and therefore it is greater than 1. It is called relatively elastic demand. The first one was perfectly elastic demand, infinity case, perfectly elastic demand. Second case is relatively elastic demand. Right, sir. Next, at point C. Point C is the midpoint, everyone. So at point C, what is happening? CE by AC. Now all of you know that C is the midpoint of red line. So both are equal. So elasticity is 1. That is called unitary elastic demand. Oh, so bas this is geometric method. नीचे वाला by ऊपर वाला, नीचे वाला by ऊपर वाला, नीचे वाला by ऊपर वाला. Everybody write down in the chat, lower segment by upper segment, नीचे वाला by ऊपर वाला. Write down, then only I will speak further. Now everyone, again, from point D you see, downwards by upwards. So DE by AD. Now DE is smaller than AD. So the fraction is less than 1. So the fraction is, less than 1. So the fraction is, less than 1. This is a case of relatively inelastic demand. This is a case of relatively inelastic demand. Right, everybody. And finally, at point E, is there any part of red line below E? No. So 0. And above E, yes, the whole AE line. So the answer is 0. That means E represents the perfectly inelastic demand. So same 5 types of elasticity. A represents perfectly elastic demand. B represents relatively elastic demand. C represents unitary elastic demand. D represents relatively inelastic demand. E represents perfectly inelastic demand. This is what I have showcased here. If you all see, A is perfectly elastic, B is relatively elastic, C is unitary elastic as it is in the midpoint, D is relatively inelastic, and E is perfectly inelastic. I hope it's crystal clear, everyone. Right, sir. So friends, I hope it is crystal clear so far. See, another method we have completed. So we have completed 3 methods so far. Percentage method, point elasticity, geometric linear method. Now we talk about arc elasticity method. Are we ready, everyone? Are we ready, everyone? Very good. So pay attention, everyone. Arc elasticity is very simple. I will revise with you percentage method first. Percentage method. What was percentage method? Under percentage method, you all did was elasticity equals to change in quantity by original quantity, that is percentage change in quantity by percentage change in price into 100. Everyone, you remember this is percentage method, yes or no? Yes or no? Arc elasticity is very similar to this. What is arc elasticity method? Arc elasticity method tells you arc elasticity equals to change in quantity by, see here we have the original quantity. What is the denominator? Original quantity. Here what is the denominator? Original price. But here the change will be, it will not be original quantity, it will be average quantity. So Q2 minus Q1 by not original quantity. Yes, average quantity. Similarly, for percentage change in price, change in price by average price into 100 into 100 into 100. Hopefully it's crystal clear. So what is arc elasticity method? It is basically change in quantity by not the original quantity, rather the average quantity. Similarly, change in price by the average quantity into 100. So formula is same, just that here instead of Q1, it will be average quantity. Here instead of P1, it will be average price. I hope it's crystal clear. So you can also write this as the formula of arc elasticity. Change in quantity by change in price into sum of price by sum of quantity. Note it down. This is arc elasticity formula. Note it down, everyone. Note it down, everyone. Now we will solve sum using this method, arc elasticity method. Now we will solve sum using arc elasticity method. I hope all of us are ready. Okay. So suppose original price was 500 rupees. Price fell down to rupees 400. Original quantity was, let's say, 100 units. Now the quantity has risen and become 150 units. Got it, everyone? Now what I am telling you all is, you have to compute elasticity. You have to compute elasticity. Now see, listen carefully. Elasticity is, listen carefully. Pay attention. First, under percentage method, I am showing you. Percentage method. What is percentage method elasticity? Change in quantity by change in price into original price by original quantity. So what is change in quantity? 100 rises to 150. That is 50. What is change in price? 500 fallen down to 400. That is minus 100. What is original price? 500. Original quantity 100. Right, everyone? So 0, 0 gone, 0, 0 gone. It becomes minus 2.5, which we write in modulus as 2.5. Now this is not arc elasticity. This is percentage. This is percentage. Right? Now let's talk of arc elasticity method. Simple. Here it will be elasticity equals to change in quantity by change in price into not just the original price, rather the sum of prices and sum of quantity. So change in quantity is how much? Is that increased by 50? Change in prices by how much? It has fallen by 100. Into sum of prices is 900 by sum of quantity was 250. So everyone, 0, 0 gone, 0, 0 gone. 50, 5 0. So everyone, it becomes minus 9 by 5. It becomes minus 9 by 5. Right? And what is 9 by 5? What is 9 by 5, everyone? It is 1.8. So it is 1.8, and therefore elasticity modulus is equals to 1.8. I hope it's clear, everyone. This is arc elasticity. So see, answers are different in both the cases. That can happen because formula is different, na? Approach is totally different. How come answer will be same? Right. So, sir, we have completed this method as well. Arc elasticity, I hope, is clear to everyone. Everyone, arc elasticity is clear, I believe. Now we move to one of the last methods to calculate price elasticity of demand. To calculate price elasticity of demand. What is that method called, everybody? What is that method called, out, everyone? It is called outlay method, or in a rather more simpler manner, expenditure method. Outlay method or expenditure method. Outlay method or expenditure method. Now, this method, we don't need to compute. We don't need to compute, means no numerical calculation. Then what, sir? We just have to judge the nature of elasticity. We just have to judge the nature of elasticity. We just have to judge the nature of elasticity. Meaning, which type of elasticity do we see? Is it relatively elastic demand? Is it relatively inelastic demand? Or is it unitary elastic demand? Everyone, we are having to judge whether it is relatively elastic demand, whether it is relatively inelastic demand, or whether it is unitary elastic demand. We just have to judge that, everyone. Right, sir? Okay. Sir, before we understand, first of all, your question should be, what is total outlay or total expenditure, right? What is total outlay or total expenditure? Your question should be this, correct? So, my dear friends, suppose price of a biscuit is ₹5. You purchase 1,000 units of this biscuit. My question to you is, what is the total expenditure on this biscuit? What is your total expenditure on this biscuit? Come on, everybody. Yes, you got it correct. 5 into 1,000. Price equals to, total expenditure is 5 into 1,000. ₹5,000. This is what total expenditure is. So total expenditure is nothing but price into quantity. Write down, everyone. Here, there are only three types. There is no perfect here. In total outlay method, there are only three types of elasticities. Relatively elastic, relatively inelastic, and unitary. There is no perfect elastic and perfect inelastic. No such concept in total outlay method. Great. So, sir, now we proceed to our question. And what would the question be, sir? How do we judge? How do we judge elasticity? I'll give you an example, and that will elaborate the point crystal clear manner. Okay? Just a moment, everyone. Okay. So I'll give you three cases here. I hope all of you are listening now. Okay. So everybody, suppose we take an original case, original case. Okay. Suppose the original case is that price is ₹5. Okay. Quantity is 100 units. You will tell me what is the original total expenditure. If original price is 5, original quantity is 100, then what is the total expenditure? You tell me. Yes, you are correct. So total expenditure is 5 into 100, that is ₹500. Total expenditure is what? It's 5 into 100, that is ₹500. Correct, everyone? Right, sir, it's correct. Now. Case 1 is here, case 2 is here, and case 3 here. These are alternatives of one another. Okay. Now suppose price falls to ₹2. So original price was 5. Price has fallen to ₹2. When price falls, what will happen to quantity? It will rise or it will fall? It will rise, definitely. So let's say original quantity was 100. Now new quantity is 200. So what is the new total expenditure? Sir, the total expenditure now is 2 into 200, that is ₹400. Yes or no, everyone? So see, price changed from 5 to 2, fall in price, total expenditure has also fallen. Whenever this happens, we call it to be inelastic demand. Okay, this is how we judge. अगर प्राइस गिर रहा है और खर्चा भी गिर रहा है, प्राइस गिर रहा है और टोटल खर्चा भी गिर रहा है, अगर प्राइस गिर रहा है और टोटल खर्चा भी गिर रहा है, उसको इनइलास्टिक डिमांड बोलते हैं। अगर प्राइस गिर रहा है और टोटल खर्चा भी गिर रहा है तो उसको अपने इनइलास्टिक डिमांड बोलते हैं, या रिलेटिवली इनइलास्टिक। परफेक्टली यहां पर कुछ होता ही नहीं है। होपफुली क्लियर है? I believe it's hopefully clear. What we have discussed is that when there is direct relation between price and quantity, when there is, please note it down, when there is direct relation, if there is direct relation between price and total expenditure, direct relation means if price rises, total expenditure rises. If price falls, total expenditure falls. If a relation like this is observed, my dear friends, we call the demand to be inelastic in nature. We call the demand to be what in nature? Inelastic in nature. That's correct. You heard it correct. But suppose friends, if price rises, total expenditure falls. That is, if there is inverse relation, or when price falls, total expenditure rises. Meaning what? There is inverse relation. Then, my dear friends, we call the demand to be elastic in nature. We call the demand to be elastic in nature. Just for example, here what is happening? You see, price was 5 rupees, price has fallen to 2 rupees. Quantity was 100 units, quantity has fallen down to, increased to 300 units. So total expenditure is 600. So see, price has gone from 5 to 2, price has fallen, but total expenditure went up from 500 rupees to 600 rupees. Such an inverse relation is what I was referring to as the case for elastic demand. As the case for elastic demand. Got it, sir. Next one, sir. What is the next one case, sir? What is the next case, sir? Now everyone. What is unitary? If there is no change. So suppose price was 5 rupees. Now price has gone down to 2 rupees. Okay. But quantity was originally 100 units. Now quantity has risen to 250 units. So originally what was total expenditure? 500. New total expenditure is also 500. When despite the change in price के बदलने के बाद भी अगर टोटल एक्सपेंडिचर नहीं बदले, प्राइस के बदलने के बाद भी अगर टोटल एक्सपेंडिचर नहीं बदले, उसको हम लोग यूनिटरी इलास्टिक डिमांड बोलते हैं। आई होप क्लियर है एवरीवन। So everyone, this is the ultimate flow chart. This is the summary chart. Everyone, those who want summary chart, this is the summary chart of total expenditure method. If there is direct relationship, inelastic demand. If there is if there is no behavior, that is total expenditure is constant, that is unitary elastic. And if price rises, total expenditure falls, or price falls, total expenditure rises, elastic demand. This is the summary chart, everyone. Hopefully it's crystal clear, everyone. सबको clear है क्या? Now, friends, having said this, now we are discussing determinants of price elasticity or factors affecting price elasticity of demand. Now some theory will come. Factors affecting price elasticity of demand. Factors affecting price elasticity of demand. Determinants of price elasticity of demand or factors affecting price elasticity of demand. Number one is availability of substitutes. Number one is availability of substitutes. Now I will tell you one simple trick. If demand can change, it is elastic. If it can change by large variations. But if demand will change little, not by much. If demand will change little, not by much. If demand will change little, not by much, that is the case of inelastic demand. That is the case of inelastic demand. Hopefully we are ready for this now. Okay. Now, fact number one, availability of substitutes. Now you will think if a product has a lot of substitute in the market, then if the seller increases the price only little bit, then the customers will go to another seller. So quantity will change by large quantity. So if substitutes are available, demand will be elastic in nature. But suppose the substitutes are unavailable, not available, then everybody demand will be inelastic nature. Then demand will be inelastic in nature. Then everyone demand will be inelastic in nature. So if substitutes are available, demand will be of elastic nature. If substitutes are not available, demand will be inelastic. You know why? Because if substitutes are not available, then whatever the price change be, you will have to take it from that seller only. You don't have any other option. So despite the change in price, quantity will not change much. Hence, the demand will be inelastic if substitutes are not available. If substitutes are not available. Right, everybody. Right. Now, nature of commodity. Nature of commodity. Nature of commodity. So now there are two questions that arise. Is a commodity a necessity? Or is a commodity a comfort or a luxury? Is a commodity a necessity? Or is a commodity a comfort or a luxury? Is a commodity a necessity? Or is the commodity a comfort or a luxury? Now, please pay attention. Suppose the commodity is a necessity. Suppose the commodity is a necessity. Do you think for change in price you will be able to change demand much? No. If rice, atta, wheat, etc., their price rises, do you think I will reduce my consumption of the same? No. So demand will be inelastic for necessities. But if yes, comfort or luxury, if you talk about, they are not essential to my existence. So if their prices are very high, I may shift the demand in the future. So demand, it is possible to actually postpone demand, forgo demand. It is possible. And hence demand is going to be elastic in such a circumstance. अगर डिमांड बदलना जोर से पॉसिबल हो तो इलास्टिक बोलते हैं. अगर डिमांड बदलना पॉसिबल ना हो बहुत जोर से, धीरे धीरे फिर भी, तब हम लोग इन इलास्टिक डिमांड बोलते हैं. होपफुली क्लियर है बातचीत. नाउ मूविंग ऑन टू द नेक्स्ट वन. यार, proportion of income spent. Proportion of income spent. Proportion of income spent. Now suppose you spend huge income on certain activities, like on your education you spend a lot, on your food, on your maintenance, on your house you spend a lot, right? So for such things demand is elastic. You know why? For such things demand is elastic. You know why? Because a large portion of expenditure is going here, so consumer will be very calculative, that is, they are using their money correctly or not. Yes or no, everyone? So demand will be elastic. But if you are buying a salt or a matchbox, will you think much about that? No, because you are not spending much on that. Even if their prices change, it will hardly impact you. And therefore, for them, it is inelastic. So if the proportion of income spent on a commodity is little, demand is inelastic. But if you spend a large portion of your income on something, it is going to severely affect you. So your demand largely depends on those things. And hence, demand for those things will be elastic in nature. Friends, I hope it's crystal clear so far. Next, everybody, is postponement of consumption. Next, everyone, is postponement of consumption. What is the next point, sir? Postponement of consumption. So if a commodity is a luxury, it can be postponed, yes or no? So demand will be elastic. But if a commodity is a necessity, can you postpone it? No, you can't postpone it. Inelastic. Correct. Next, time period. See, in short run, suppose you want a pen now. So whatever price is, suppose you are outside and you are feeling very thirsty. If you are feeling very thirsty, then even if the water bottle seller charges 100 rupees for a 10 rupee bottle, you will pay. So in short term, there is inelastic demand. Why? Because the time is very short. You need to drink water immediately. But suppose you get 1 day to decide from where you want water. Then you can take your decision asking different sellers at what price they will sell the water bottle. Yes or no? So if time is less, demand will be inelastic. If time is more, demand will be elastic. As you can adjust your demand. अगर टाइम कम है तो डिमांड इनइलास्टिक रहेगा, समय ज्यादा है तो डिमांड इलास्टिक रहेगा. प्राइस रेंज. अगर कोई कमोडिटी महंगी है, इफ सम कमोडिटी इज एक्सपेंसिव, तब कंज्यूमर को उस कमोडिटी के बारे में बहुत बार सोचना पड़ेगा खरीदने से पहले. देन द कंज्यूमर हैज टू थिंक मल्टीपल नंबर ऑफ टाइम्स बिफोर बाइंग दैट. इसलिए डिमांड इलास्टिक होगा. हेंस द डिमांड विल बी इलास्टिक. बट इफ प्राइस इज वेरी लेस, अगर प्राइस बहुत कम होता है तो थोड़ा मोड़ा प्राइस अगर बढ़ भी जाए तो डिमांड में फर्क आएगा क्या? नहीं. इवन इफ द प्राइस स्लाइटली चेंजेस, इंक्रीजेस और डिक्रीजेस, विल इट अफेक्ट डिमांड इन एनी वे फॉर अ कमोडिटी विच इज ऑलरेडी ऑफ अ लोअर प्राइस? नो सर. हेंस द डिमांड विल बी इनइलास्टिक. Another thing, habits, very important. So if something becomes your habit, then demand will be inelastic. But if it is not a habit, demand will be elastic. Let me ask you a question. A person comes to know that the price of cigarettes have gone up. What will be the elasticity of demand for the consumer be? If he is a chain smoker, that is, he has habit of smoking, he is not a chain smoker. So yes, you all are correct. That sir, if he is a chain smoker, then he will not be affected by change in price of cigarettes. He will still smoke. So the demand is going to be inelastic in that scenario. But suppose he is not a chain smoker, then he might reduce his consumption of cigarettes due to rising price and demand will be elastic. Right, everyone? Yes, sir. And yes, in upcoming sessions, we will also solve institute material. Don't worry. First, you learn the topic, learn the concept, you solve it yourself. Then in the later classes, I will do institute materials as well. First, focus on learning the chapter. You are thinking that you will learn institute's back question and you will clear foundation. That is not the way. The first focus should be on learning the topic. Then you solve institute material, which is very good. Next, moving on, income elasticity of demand. So everyone, price elasticity of demand is over. Price elasticity of demand khatam ho gaya. Thick. Now we talk about income elasticity of demand. Now we talk about what, sir? Now we talk about or speak about income elasticity of demand. Now we speak about income elasticity of demand. Everybody pay attention. See, when we were discussing price elasticity of demand, what was it? Degree of responsiveness of quantity demanded to the change in own price, to the change in own price, to the change in own price. Correct, everybody? Correct, sir. Now we are discussing income elasticity of demand. What is income elasticity of demand? It is the degree of responsiveness of quantity demanded, not to the change in own price, but to the change in income of the consumer. But to the change in income of the consumer. degree of responsiveness of quantity demanded to the change in income of the consumer. How is it computed? Income elasticity is percentage change in quantity demanded by percentage change in income. Remember, elastic means demand can change by a lot. Inelastic means demand cannot change or it will change by very small quantity. Okay. Now, income elasticity of demand, we talk about change in demand due to income, change in demand due to income. In price elasticity, it was due to own price. In income elasticity, is due to own income of the consumer. Right? Right, sir. So how is income elasticity computed? Percentage change in quantity demanded by percentage change in income. Sir, how do we prepare for economics? The only trick is attend all the classes, understand all the classes, do the class homework, and read each and every line in institute material. Read each and every line. Don't try to adopt rote learning. रट्टा मत लगाइए. Read each and every line. Bas, it is enough. If you have done four things, number one, attend all the classes that we are doing. Number one. Number two, revise. Number three, homework. And number four, institute material each and every line. If you all do it, be reasonably confident that you will do very well in your subject. Now moving on to the topic. How is income elasticity computed? Sir, the question is, how is income elasticity computed? So friends, again here also, the formula remains the same. Again here also, the formula remains the same for income elasticity. It is percentage change in quantity demanded by percentage change in income. How is income elasticity computed? Percentage change in quantity demanded by percentage change in income. Again, percentage change in quantity demanded by percentage change in income. One more time, percentage change in quantity demanded by percentage change in income. Hopefully it is clear, everyone. Income elasticity क्या होता है? Percentage change in quantity demanded by percentage change in income. There are three types of income elasticity: positive income elasticity, negative income elasticity, zero income elasticity. For normal goods, you have positive income elasticity. What does it mean, sir? Arey, we did na that for normal goods, if your income rises, quantity demanded will also very good rise. That is positive income elasticity. For normal goods like shirt, positive income elasticity. Right. What is negative income elasticity? When your income rises, quantity demanded falls. This happens for inferior goods. You see, when your income rises, Arey Baba, why will you be consuming inferior quality commodities anymore? You will shift to better commodities, na? Yes or no? Yes, sir. That is inferior goods. Negative income elasticity. And finally, zero income elasticity. Zero income elasticity is inexpensive necessities. Zero income elasticity is inexpensive necessities. Zero income elasticity is inexpensive necessities. So what is zero income elasticity? Inexpensive necessities. So even if there is change in income, there is no change in demand. So this is positive income elasticity for normal goods. All right. Now, positive income elasticity is also of three types. Case one, income elasticity, where the value of elasticity is greater than 1. Income inelastic, where the value of elasticity is between 0 and 1. It is positive, but between 0 and 1. And unitary income elasticity means elasticity value is exactly equal to 1. Okay. So what is income elasticity? Change in quantity demanded due to change in income. Okay. Three types: positive, negative, zero. Positive is for normal goods, negative is for inferior goods, zero is for inexpensive necessities. Again, positive has been divided into income elastic, inelastic, or unitary income elastic. In income elastic, value lies between zero, value is greater than 1. Income inelastic, value is between 0 and 1. And unitary income elastic, it is exactly equal to 1. Great. So friends, income elasticity is also over. Now we discuss cross elasticity. Are we ready everyone? जब इनकम की वजह से डिमांड बदले तब हम इनकम इलास्टिसिटी पढ़ते हैं, और जब किसी और के कमोडिटी के प्राइस बदलने की वजह से हमारे कमोडिटी का डिमांड बदले उसे क्रॉस इलास्टिसिटी कहते हैं. सो व्हेन देयर इज अ चेंज इन क्वांटिटी डिमांडेड ऑफ आवर कमोडिटी ड्यू टू चेंज इन प्राइस ऑफ सम अदर रिलेटेड कमोडिटी, इट कैन बी अ कॉम्प्लीमेंट्री गुड, इट कैन बी अ सब्स्टिट्यूट गुड which affects our demand, such an elasticity is called cross elasticity. Here, how do we calculate? Same. Percentage change in quantity demanded by percentage change in price. There is one difference. Percentage change in quantity demanded of commodity X divided by percentage change in price of commodity Y. Not X, because it would have become price elasticity then. Price किसी और का, quantity किसी और. Understood everyone? Understood everyone? Percentage change in quantity demanded of X by percentage change in price of Y. Got it everybody? Yes sir. So now, cross elasticity of demand is of three types. Positive cross elasticity for substitute goods. How? Why sir? क्यों सर? सब्स्टिट्यूट गुड्स में क्रॉस इलास्टिसिटी पॉजिटिव होता है. क्यों? आप लोग सोचिए, अगर चाय का दाम बढ़ेगा तो कॉफी का डिमांड क्या होगा? बढ़ेगा ही ना. अरे भाई, अगर चाय का दाम बढ़ेगा कॉफी का डिमांड क्या होगा? बढ़ेगा ही ना. इसे हम लोग पॉजिटिव क्रॉस इलास्टिसिटी कहते हैं. दिस इज रेफर टू एज पॉजिटिव क्रॉस इलास्टिसिटी. Sir, what is negative cross elasticity? It happens in case of complementary goods. So if price of car rises, what happens to quantity of petrol? If price of car rises, quantity of petrol falls. That is negative cross elasticity. It happens for complementary goods. Right, sir. And what is zero cross elasticity? Zero cross elasticity is a situation where goods are unrelated, like television and salt. If price of television rises, does it affect salt? It does not affect salt. So here it is zero cross elasticity. Friends, I hope it's crystal clear, everyone. Now we talk about advertisement elasticity of demand. Are we ready, everyone? This is the last topic. This is advertising elasticity of demand is percentage change in quantity demanded by percentage change in advertisement expenditure. So suppose it is positive. Positive means that due to advertisement, quantity demand has increased. So advertisement was good for us, good for us. Positive advertisement elasticity means advertisement was good. But suppose due to increase in advertisement, quantity demanded fell. It means advertisement was bad for us. हम लोग को advertisement नहीं करना चाहिए था. And if despite advertisement, there was no change in quantity demanded, then advertisement had no effect. ना तो कुछ फायदा हुआ, ना कुछ नुकसान हुआ. एडवर्टाइजमेंट फालतू का हुआ, वेस्ट हो गया पैसा. So now, friends, let me give you another question for practice to calculate cross elasticity of demand. Everyone do this question. Price of product X, price of product X, price of product X rose from rupees 10 to rupees 15. Price of product X rose from rupees 10 to rupees 15, due to which quantity of product Y falls from 80 units to 60 units. Okay? Price of product X rises from rupees 10 to rupees 15, due to which quantity of product Y falls from 80 units to 60 units. Compute cross elasticity of demand. Also explain the relationship. Whether the goods are complementary, substitute, what is the relationship? You all do, then I will help. let's go. So price of product rises from 10 to 15. So what is percentage change in price? From 10 to 15. So percentage change is C. 5 rupees say it has increased. By original was 10 rupees into 100. So percentage change in price is 50%. What is percentage change in quantity? Let's see. Fell from 80 to 60. So change in quantity is with 20. What is original quantity? 80 into 100. So it has fall by 25%. Yes. So change in quantity is minus 25% by 50%. So it is minus 0.5. Now see, it is negative. So rise in price has resulted in fall in demand. This happens in complementary goods. See, I have taught you this, that if cross elasticity comes negative, it means goods are complementary. If cross elasticity comes negative, goods are complementary. And value of cross elasticity is minus 0.5, as you can clearly see here. Hopefully it's clear. Very good. All of you have given this answer only. Very good. Most of you actually, not all. Shreyas, very good. Om, good. Great. So the value is minus 0.5 and the goods are complementary in nature. Next question. Friends, my question is, a rise in price from rupees 5 to rupees 7 of a commodity resulted in change in total expenditure from 10,000 to 15,000. What is the nature of elasticity? So you see price has risen, price बढ़ा है और टोटल एक्सपेंडिचर भी बढ़ गया. जब प्राइस और टोटल एक्सपेंडिचर एक ही डायरेक्शन में जाता था तो याद करिए डिमांड को क्या बोलते थे. Yes, you all are correct. When they are in the same direction, price has increased, quantity has also increased. Demand will be inelastic. Demand will be inelastic when they are in the same direction. If one rises, other falls, then we call elastic. Remember, I had shown you this table and I have made you write this table as well. Here, this one. See, when both are in the same direction, first one, then demand is inelastic. If the direction is opposite, then if the direction is opposite, then elastic. But if there is no change in total expenditure, then unitary elastic. हाँ sir, we remember it now. So friends, this is what it is. Our topic demand and law of demand is over. Your homework should be to first of all study two things. Number one, word to word institute material. Number two, summary that is given behind the institute's material after each chapter. And then solve those sums or questions that is given in the material. If you do it today or tomorrow, chances are you will do it correct because you remember the fundas now. Revise it. I am telling you, revise it from the institute's material. Okay. That's it for the day, guys. Thank you very much. Goodbye. Thank you very much. Bye bye. Okay. Thank you. Bye bye, everyone. Yes, yes.